Progress is better than perfection. Golden Key to Prosperity. Introduction. The power of progress. The allure of perfection is a silent dream killer. It whispers promises of flawless execution, unwavering confidence, and the approval of others, but delivers only hesitation, self-doubt, and stagnation. Most people never start or never finish because they're waiting for the perfect conditions, the ideal plan, the right timing, or a version of themselves that feels fully prepared. But perfection is an unattainable myth, a standard that keeps you trapped while others move forward with courage and consistency. The true path to success lies in progress, relentless, imperfect action that builds momentum, fosters growth, and creates results. This guide dives deep into the mindset and habits that prioritize progress over perfection, offering a comprehensive framework to transform how you approach your goals. Across 9 principles, you'll discover how to break free from the perfection trap, embrace mistakes as opportunities, and build resilience that makes you unstoppable. From taking your first messy step to sustaining long-term momentum, these strategies are practical, actionable, and rooted in the reality that success is about staying in motion, not getting it right the first time. Let's explore how to harness the power of progress and create a life of impact and achievement. The 9 principles of progress. Perfection is a trap, the enemy of action. Perfectionism is a deceptive mindset that masquerades as a pursuit of excellence but delivers paralysis. It convinces you that if you can't do something perfectly, it's not worth doing at all, stopping you from taking the first step. This belief is not just unrealistic, it's a barrier to growth, rooted in fear of failure, judgment, or imperfection. The illusion of perfection. Perfection sets an impossible standard that no one, not even the most accomplished, can meet. The idea of a flawless plan, a mistake-free execution, or a guaranteed outcome is a fantasy. Yet many fall into its trap, believing they need more time, skills, or certainty before acting. These are excuses, fueled by fear of looking foolish or falling short. The longer you chase perfection, the more you delay the progress that leads to real results. The cost of waiting. Waiting for the perfect moment is a recipe for stagnation. There's no ideal time to start a business, write a book, or pursue a dream. Conditions will never align perfectly, and waiting for them to do so means squandering opportunities. Successful people don't wait for certainty. They act despite doubt, knowing that progress comes from movement, not endless preparation. Every day spent waiting is a day lost to hesitation. Perfection kills momentum. Momentum is the lifeblood of success, and perfectionism is its greatest enemy. When you overanalyze every detail, second-guess your decisions, or hesitate to act, you disrupt the energy needed to move forward. Perfection creates a cycle of doubt and inaction, keeping you stuck while others take imperfect but effective steps toward their goals. The choice is clear: cling to an unattainable ideal or embrace the messiness of progress. The ego behind perfectionism. At its core, perfectionism is often about protecting your ego. You fear making mistakes because they might expose your vulnerabilities or invite criticism. This fear drives you to overplan, overthink, and avoid action, all in an effort to shield yourself from discomfort. But growth requires vulnerability, being willing to be a beginner, to stumble, and to learn in real time. Letting go of perfection means letting go of ego and embracing the humility of progress. Practical tips. To break free from perfectionism, reframe your mindset. Accept that starting messy is better than not starting at all. Set a deadline to take action, within 24 hours or by the end of the week, regardless of whether your plan feels flawless. Focus on the first step, not the entire journey, and remind yourself that progress, not perfection, is the goal. When perfectionist thoughts arise, counter them with a mantra. Done is better than perfect. Practice taking small, low-stakes actions to build tolerance for imperfection, like sending an imperfect email or sharing a rough draft. Over time, these steps will weaken perfectionism's grip and free you to act with confidence. Perfection is a trap that keeps you stuck in fear and hesitation. By choosing progress, you reclaim your power to move forward, grow, and achieve. Progress builds momentum. The power of consistent action. Progress is the antidote to stagnation, and its greatest gift is momentum. Unlike perfection, which demands flawless execution, progress thrives on consistent, incremental steps that build energy and drive results. Each action, no matter how small, moves you closer to your goals and creates a virtuous cycle of confidence, clarity, and growth. Why momentum matters. Momentum is a force that transforms hard work into effortless flow. Once you're in motion, decisions become clearer, actions feel lighter, and obstacles seem less daunting. Momentum makes success feel within reach, but it doesn't come from waiting or over-planning. It comes from acting. Every step forward, even an imperfect one, fuels the energy needed to keep going, creating a snowball effect that grows with each effort. The value of small wins. Big results are built on small wins. Writing one page, making one outreach call, or completing one workout may seem insignificant. But these actions stack up over time. Each win reinforces your discipline, boosts your confidence, and strengthens your commitment. A single email doesn't build a business, but 1,000 emails over months can. Progress is about layering small efforts consistently, creating a foundation that compounds into extraordinary outcomes. Action creates clarity. Many people wait for clarity before acting, believing they need a perfect plan or complete understanding. But clarity doesn't come from thinking, it comes from doing. When you take action, you gain real-world feedback: what works, what doesn't, and what needs adjustment. This feedback is more valuable than any theoretical plan, as it's grounded in reality. Progress means learning by doing, not by overanalyzing. The compound effect of consistency. Consistency turns small actions into massive results through the compound effect. Just as a single dollar invested grows over decades, a single action repeated daily grows into transformative outcomes. Writing 500 words a day for a year produces a novel. Exercising 30 minutes daily transforms your health over months. The key is to focus on the process, not the immediate result, trusting that consistent effort will yield exponential rewards. Overcoming resistance. Every day brings resistance, fatigue, doubt, or distractions that tempt you to skip your efforts. Momentum overcomes this by making action habitual. When you commit to showing up, even on tough days, you train your mind to prioritize progress over excuses. Small wins build a sense of inevitability, making it easier to keep going, even when motivation wanes. Practical tips. Identify one small action you can take daily toward your goal, like writing for 10 minutes or practicing a skill for 15 minutes. Track your wins in a journal or app to visualize your progress and stay motivated. When you're stuck, ask, what's the smallest step I can take right now? Use tools like to-do lists or habit trackers to maintain consistency. Schedule your action at the same time each day to make it a routine. If resistance hits, commit to just 5 minutes of effort. Often, starting is enough to build momentum. Momentum grows with every action. Keep moving, and it will carry you farther than you imagine. Progress builds momentum, and momentum creates results. By focusing on consistent, incremental action, you turn small steps into unstoppable success. 3. Embrace mistakes. Failure. Feedback mistakes are not the enemy of success, they're its foundation. The fear of failure keeps most people from starting, but those who achieve greatness see mistakes as essential to growth. Every misstep provides feedback, teaching you what works and what doesn't. Embracing mistakes is the cornerstone of progress. The role of failure in success. No one succeeds without failing, often repeatedly. The most accomplished people in history, from inventors to entrepreneurs, failed more than most. Their secret? They learned faster, adjusted quicker, and kept going. Failure isn't proof you're inadequate, it's proof you're trying. Each mistake is a lesson that brings you closer to mastery, provided you're willing to learn. Reframing mistakes as feedback. Instead of fearing mistakes, view them as data. A failed marketing campaign shows you what your audience doesn't respond to. A rejected job application reveals gaps in your resume or interview skills. By treating mistakes as feedback, you strip them of their emotional weight and focus on solutions. This mindset transforms setbacks into opportunities, making progress inevitable. Overcoming the fear of looking foolish. The fear of looking foolish is a powerful barrier. Perfectionists avoid action because they dread criticism or embarrassment. But success requires vulnerability, being willing to be a beginner, to stumble publicly, to learn in real time. Winners don't care about appearing perfect, they care about getting better. Embracing the discomfort of imperfection allows you to take risks and grow faster than those paralyzed by fear. The learning curve of mastery. Every skill, from writing to coding to public speaking, has a learning curve. Early attempts are often clumsy, but they're necessary. Mistakes in the beginning teach you the nuances that lead to expertise. The sooner you're willing to make those mistakes, the faster you progress. Avoiding them only delays your growth. Building resilience through failure. Each mistake you survive makes you stronger. You learn that failure isn't fatal. It's a detour, not a dead end. This resilience allows you to take bigger risks, try new approaches, and push beyond your comfort zone. Over time, you develop a high tolerance for failure, seeing it as a natural part of the journey rather than a reason to quit. Practical tips. When you make a mistake, analyze it objectively. What went wrong, and what can I do differently? Keep a failure journal to document lessons learned and how you've grown from each setback. Start with low-stakes experiments to build tolerance for imperfection. Try a new hobby, share a rough draft, or pitch an idea. When fear of failure arises, remind yourself, every mistake is a step toward mastery. Seek feedback from mentors or peers to turn mistakes into actionable insights. Mistakes are your teachers. Embrace them, and they'll guide you to success. Mistakes are not setbacks. They're stepping stones. By treating failure as feedback, you transform obstacles into opportunities for progress. Action over planning. Clarity comes from doing. Perfectionists believe they need a flawless plan before starting, but this is a myth that leads to paralysis. Over-planning keeps you stuck in your head, chasing certainty that never comes. The truth is, action creates clarity. Progress comes from doing, not overthinking. The limits of planning. Planning is useful, but it has diminishing returns. No amount of preparation can account for real-world variables, unexpected challenges, new information, or shifting circumstances. The perfect strategy doesn't exist on day one. It's forged through experience. Spending weeks or months planning without acting wastes time and kills momentum. The power of imperfect action. Imperfect action is better than no action. Starting with a rough plan and adjusting as you go provides real-world feedback that no theoretical exercise can match. A prototype, a first draft, or a test run reveals what works and what doesn't, clarifying your path forward. Progress is about moving and learning, not waiting for perfection. Breaking the overthinking cycle. Overthinking is a perfectionist's trap, fueling doubt and hesitation. The more you analyze, the more you question yourself, eroding confidence and delaying action. The antidote is to act, even if it's a small step. Sending an imperfect email, launching a basic website, or practicing a skill for 10 minutes breaks the cycle and builds momentum. Action turns abstract ideas into tangible progress. The iterative process of progress. Progress is iterative. Act, assess, adjust, repeat. Each cycle refines your approach, making you better equipped for the next step. This process is faster and more effective than trying to predict every outcome in advance. Successful people don't wait for a perfect blueprint. They build it through trial and error. Overcoming the need for certainty. Perfectionists crave certainty, but success thrives in uncertainty. You can't predict every outcome, but you can control your willingness to try. Action reduces uncertainty by giving you data to work with, while planning alone leaves you guessing. Progress means trusting that you'll figure it out as you go, even if the path isn't clear at the start. Practical tips: adopt a start now rule. Take one action within 24 hours of setting a goal, no matter how small. Limit planning time to 20% of your effort, dedicating 80% to action. When overthinking strikes, ask, what's one thing I can do right now to move forward? Break big goals into micro steps to make starting easier. Reflect after each action. What did I learn, and how can I adjust? Use a timer to cap planning sessions at 15 minutes to force action. Clarity comes from doing. Trust the process and start moving. Action creates clarity, while planning alone breeds doubt. Take imperfect steps, and the path to progress will reveal self. Resilience through progress. Bouncing back stronger. Progress builds resilience, the ability to recover quickly from setbacks and keep moving forward. Perfectionism makes you fragile, where one mistake feels like a catastrophe, but progress makes you adaptable, turning challenges into opportunities. By focusing on improvement over outcomes, you develop the strength to thrive in any storm. Why? Resilience matters. Setbacks are inevitable. Projects fail, plans derail, and obstacles arise. Resilience is what separates those who quit from those who succeed. It's not about avoiding failure, but about bouncing back faster, learning from it, and staying in motion. Progress fuels resilience by shifting your focus from perfection to growth. Progress as a resilient mindset. When you prioritize progress, setbacks don't define you, they inform you. A rejected proposal becomes a chance to refine your pitch. A missed deadline reveals gaps in your process. This mindset makes you immune to the fragility of perfectionism, allowing you to navigate uncertainty with confidence. Progress teaches you that no single failure can stop you, only quitting can. Building a high tolerance for failure. Winners have a high tolerance for failure because they see it as part of the process. They don't take it personally. They view it as evidence of effort. By embracing progress, you train yourself to recover quickly, adjusting your approach, refocusing your energy, and moving on. This resilience allows you to take bigger risks and push beyond your comfort zone. The role of adaptability. Resilience requires adaptability, being willing to pivot when things go wrong. Progress-focused people don't cling to failing strategies. They assess, adjust, and try again. This flexibility ensures you stay in motion even when the path changes. Adaptability turns setbacks into stepping stones, keeping you on track toward your goals. Cultivating emotional strength. Resilience isn't just about strategy, it's about emotional strength. Perfectionists tie their self-worth to outcomes, so failure feels like a personal attack. Progress-focused people tie their worth to effort and growth, so setbacks don't shake their core. This emotional resilience allows you to stay steady, even in tough times. Practical tips. After a setback, take one small action to regain momentum. A quick task, a reflection, or a new approach. Practice self-compassion. Remind yourself that mistakes are normal and don't define your value. Build a support network of mentors or peers who encourage resilience, not perfection. Keep a resilience log to track how you've overcome challenges, reinforcing your ability to bounce back. When failure hits, ask, what's one lesson I can learn and what's one step I can take? Progress builds resilience. Lean into and you'll come back stronger. Resilience is the byproduct of progress. By focusing on improvement, you develop the strength to overcome obstacles and keep moving forward. Confidence through action. Proving your strength. Confidence isn't a prerequisite for success, it's a result of progress. Perfectionists wait to feel confident before acting, but this is a flawed approach. Confidence is built through action, as each step you take proves your ability to handle challenges, recover from mistakes, and grow stronger. The confidence-action cycle. Action and confidence are intertwined. Action builds confidence, and confidence fuels more action. Each completed task, lesson learned, or risk taken provides evidence of your capability. A finished project, a difficult conversation navigated, or a skill practiced. These moments build a reservoir of self-belief that grows with every effort. Overcoming. Self-doubt. Self-doubt thrives in hesitation. The longer you wait, the more you question your abilities, creating a spiral of inaction. Progress counters this by putting you in motion. When you act, you prove to yourself that you can figure things out, handle setbacks, and improve. This proof erodes doubt and replaces it with evidence of your strength. Starting small to build big. You don't need to take massive risks to build confidence. Small actions, a single outreach email, a 10-minute practice session, a quick experiment, create proof of your ability. These small wins accumulate, giving you the courage to tackle bigger challenges. Over time, the confidence from small steps empowers you to take bold leaps. The role of experience confidence comes from experience, and experience comes from action. You can't think your way to self-assurance. You have to earn it by doing. Each action, even a flawed one, adds to your experience bank, making you more capable and self-assured. Progress is about building this bank over time, not expecting instant mastery. Silencing the inner critic. Perfectionists are plagued by an inner critic that demands flawlessness. Progress silences this critic by focusing on growth, not judgment. When you act and see results, even imperfect ones, you teach your mind to value effort over criticism. This shift builds a quieter, more supportive inner dialogue. Practical tips: commit to one small action daily that pushes you slightly outside your comfort zone. Send a message, try a new skill, or share an idea. Reflect on past successes, no matter how small, to remind yourself of your growth. Keep a confidence journal to document actions you've taken and how they've built your belief. When self-doubt creeps in, act anyway. Ask, what's one thing I can do right now? Use affirmations like, I build confidence by doing to reinforce the action-confidence cycle. Confidence grows through progress. Start acting, and it will follow. Confidence isn't something you wait for, it's something you build. By taking action, you prove your strength and create the belief to keep going. Consistency over perfection. The power of showing up success isn't about one perfect effort. It's about showing up consistently, day after day, regardless of circumstances. Perfectionists chase flawless moments, but progress-focused people build habits of execution. Consistency turns small actions into massive, compounding results. Why consistency wins? Consistency is the engine of progress. One workout doesn't transform your body, but a year of daily workouts does. One email doesn't build a business, but 1,000 emails over months can. Consistency compounds small efforts into extraordinary outcomes, creating a foundation that grows stronger with each action. It's not about intensity, it's about persistence. Building habits of execution. Consistency is a habit, not a mood. It's showing up when you're tired, uninspired, or uncertain. Build routines that make action automatic. Set specific times for key tasks, eliminate distractions, and prioritize your goals. Over time, these routines become second nature, making consistency effortless. The goal is to make progress a non-negotiable part of your life. Progress in the small moments. Big results come from small, repeated actions. A daily 30-minute writing session can produce a book in a year. A daily outreach effort can build a network over months. Focus on what you can do today, and trust that these efforts will compound. Progress is about valuing the process over the immediate outcome, knowing that small steps lead to big wins. Overcoming inconsistent motivation. Motivation is unreliable. It comes and goes with your mood or circumstances. Consistency, however, is a choice. On days when you lack drive, commit to a minimum viable action, the smallest step you can take, like writing one sentence or doing 5 minutes of work. This keeps you in motion, preserving momentum until motivation returns. The long game of success consistency is about playing the long game. Success doesn't happen overnight. It's built through years of steady effort. Perfectionists seek instant results and burn out when they don't materialize. Progress-focused people trust the process, knowing that consistent action, even at a slow pace, leads to inevitable results. Practical tips. Create a daily routine that prioritizes one key action toward your goal. Schedule it at the same time each day to build a habit. Use habit trackers or apps to stay accountable and visualize your streak. When motivation fades, commit to a minimum viable action to keep moving. Set weekly checkpoints to review your consistency. Did I show up every day? Break big goals into daily micro goals to make progress feel achievable. Celebrate consistency, not just outcomes, to reinforce the habit. Consistency is your superpower. Make it the backbone of your progress. Consistency turns progress into results. By showing up every day, you build a foundation for success that perfection can never match. Adaptability, the key to sustained progress. Progress thrives on adaptability, the ability to adjust when plans falter or circumstances change. Perfectionists cling to rigid strategies, but successful people pivot, learn, and keep moving. Adaptability ensures you stay in motion, no matter the challenge, making sustained progress possible. The need for flexibility. No plan survives contact with reality. Unexpected obstacles, new information, or shifting priorities require adjustments. Progress-focused people don't see these as failures. They see them as opportunities to refine their approach. Adaptability keeps you agile, ensuring setbacks don't derail your journey. Learning in real time. Adaptability means learning as you go. Each action provides feedback. What works, what doesn't, what needs tweaking. By staying open to this feedback, you improve faster than those wedded to a perfect plan. Progress is about evolving through experience, not sticking to a script. Embracing the beginner mindset. Adaptability requires humility. Being willing to be a beginner, ask for help, and admit when something isn't working. Winners don't fear looking foolish. They value growth over ego. This mindset allows them to pivot quickly, seek advice, and try new approaches, staying ahead of those paralyzed by pride or perfectionism. The power of iteration. Progress is iterative. Try, assess, adjust, repeat. Each cycle refines your strategy, making you more effective. A failed marketing tactic leads to a new campaign. A flawed presentation sparks a better delivery. Adaptability turns trial and error into a process of continuous improvement, ensuring you're always moving forward. Staying open to change. Adaptability requires an open mind. Perfectionists resist change, fearing it exposes flaws. Progress-focused. People embrace it, knowing that flexibility is a strength. They're willing to abandon old methods, explore new ideas, and take risks, trusting that change fuels growth. Practical tips. After each action, reflect. What worked, and what can I improve? Seek feedback from mentors, peers, or customers to gain fresh perspectives. Experiment with new approaches when results stall. Try a different tactic or tool. Keep a pivot log to track adjustments and their outcomes, reinforcing adaptability as a skill. Practice saying, "I don't know, but I'll figure it out," to embrace uncertainty. When plans fail, ask, "What's one new way I can approach this?" Adaptability keeps you moving. Make it a core part of your progress. Adaptability is the engine of sustained progress. By adjusting to challenges and learning in real time, you ensure growth that outlasts any obstacle. Freedom through progress. Letting go of pressure, progress creates freedom, while perfection creates pressure. When you focus on getting better, instead of being perfect, you release the weight of fear, stress, and self-doubt. This freedom empowers you to experiment, take risks, and grow at a pace perfectionists can't match, unlocking a life of creativity. Encourage. The pressure of perfection. Perfectionism turns every action into a high-stakes test. One mistake feels like a catastrophe, one setback like a personal failure. This pressure leads to hesitation, overthinking, and burnout as you strive to meet an impossible standard. Perfectionists play small, avoiding risks to protect their ego, but this limits their potential. The liberation of progress. Progress removes this pressure by redefining success as improvement, not flawlessness. When your goal is to get better, mistakes become part of the process, not proof of failure. You're free to experiment, fail, and try again without fear of judgment. This freedom fuels creativity, encourages bold moves, and accelerates growth, tuning out external noise. Perfectionists are consumed by external validation, fearing criticism or judgment. Progress-focused people tune out this noise, recognizing that others' opinions are irrelevant to their growth. By focusing on internal metrics, am I better today than yesterday? You free yourself to act authentically and take risks that others avoid. Embracing experimentation. Freedom through progress means treating actions as experiments, not final verdicts. A failed project isn't a defeat, it's a test that provides data. A rough draft isn't a flaw, it's a starting point. This mindset encourages you to try new ideas, explore uncharted paths, and innovate without the fear of getting it wrong. The joy of growth. Progress brings joy to the process. Instead of stressing over outcomes, you find satisfaction in the act of improving. Each step forward, no matter how small, becomes a victory. This joy sustains your motivation, making progress not just a means to an end, but a rewarding journey. In itself, practical tips reframe mistakes as experiments. Instead of "I failed," say "I tested something new." Limit exposure to external judgment. Avoid oversharing plans or seeking validation on social media. Focus on internal metrics. Track your daily improvements in a journal. Practice saying, "This is good enough for now," to release perfectionist pressure. Celebrate the process. Reward yourself for showing up, not just for results. When fear of criticism arises, remind yourself, "My growth is my priority." Progress is your freedom. Embrace it and let go of the need to be perfect. Progress liberates you from the chains of perfection. By focusing on improvement, you gain the courage to act, the resilience to recover, and the freedom to create a life of impact. Conclusion. The journey to unstoppable success. Success is not about achieving perfection. It's about staying in motion, in learning from every step, and building momentum that carries you forward. Progress over perfection is a mindset that transforms how you approach your goals, your challenges, and your life. By embracing consistent action, treating mistakes as teachers, and cultivating resilience, you create a cycle of growth that leads to extraordinary results. The path to greatness is messy, uncertain, and full of detours. But it's also empowering, liberating, and entirely within your control. Key lessons. Perfection is a trap. Release the need to be flawless and embrace imperfect action as the path to growth. Momentum drives results. Small, consistent steps compound into massive outcomes over time. Mistakes are feedback. Failure is a teacher, not a verdict. Use it to refine your approach. Action creates clarity. Start now, adjust as you go, and trust that the path will reveal itself. Consistency is your superpower. Show up every day, and small wins will build a legacy of success. The journey to success begins with a single, imperfect step. Stop waiting for the perfect moment, plan, or version of yourself. Start where you are, with what you have, and commit to getting better every day. Mistakes will happen, setbacks will come, but as long as you keep moving forward, you're winning. Progress is your path to freedom, confidence, and achievement. Choose it, and let it lead you to a life of unstoppable success.